Hello, beloved. I'm Monica Bermudez. I am the host for the podcast called Ascended Earth, the Transfiguration of the New Human. Welcome back to another episode. So, this one is all about deprogramming and reprogramming. And this episode may actually trigger some people, but that's okay because, like I said, trigger for me is an activation. So, the intention of this episode is to activate you to reprogram yourself. And toward the end of the episode, I would like to share three sacred steps to reprogram yourself. Our whole life has been reprogrammed with restrictions and constraints, rules of society, religions, and corrupt government systems that only desire to control us and keep us asleep. A lot of programming that has occurred at the subconscious level. So think of TV commercials. There is a lot of programming and brainwashing in them. And my stomach usually feels really sick nowadays when I see certain commercials. Even though they look like they could be uplifting and positive, I still feel like some of the energy feels off. And the most heavily programmed commercials are from the 1950s and 60s, so much earlier in the 1900s. And at least that's what I feel when I see them replayed in certain social media platforms. And I really can't watch them because I really feel sick from my stomach. And a lot of these programs and commercials and other like movies as well, they all have are embedded with subliminal messages. So whatever subliminal messages are being used, they don't feel pleasant to me. I feel a shadow surfacing from my solar plexus chakra, like a mind control or wanting to take, have power over me. And I will discuss more about the solar plexus chakra in another episode. I feel there's a lot moving in the area with the current energetic shifts. And it's considered to be a part of our lower part chakras, chakra areas or group of chakras. It's the lower half of us, um, which I'll get more into in another future episode. And the more we receive these new energy codes, the more sensitive we are getting to energy, and the greater psychic senses are in relation to our environment. So we are becoming more sensitive to many energies right now, and our psychic abilities are increasingly even more sensitive and becoming more aware of this. So even now, I am starting to see more through specific movies, commercials, and even certain music that makes me feel sick from my stomach, as though there is some hidden code that runs that turns me off. And so there is something very fake. And I don't watch movies as much as I used to. And I've lost a desire to watch most of the new ones coming out. There hasn't been much value in them. And I can sense now that many have grown wary of certain celebrities. So they've gotten tired of this, facade. There has been too much facade or fake idolization or false god syndrome. And this is shifting now because of these new energies and our conscious expansion going on as well. And so what we see now as Hollywood, it's about to disappear, and that's what I'm sensing. So I feel like there's been a lot of corruption around there, a lot of like really dark, weird secrets. And so, anyways, that's what I sense because this cannot go on like this on the new Earth frequency, which is, higher vibrational frequency. Anything that is lower vibrational frequency or fake will be revealed and dismantled. And we are on shaky grounds, becoming even more sacred. What I do like to watch are some funny movies or comedy, but even with that, I am particular the type of shows I watch. And I still enjoy movies of magic like Harry Potter. Love the stories of a magician, especially Doctor Strange, as there are some parallels to our ongoing life. And can't forget about the movie Matrix, which is a documentary of us in a matrix. And matrix comes from a Spanish word, a Latin word called matriz, which means womb. And we are birthing ourselves now with these new energies. When I was little, before my strongest awakening, I would sometimes look at the sky and think it was like a canvas, as if an artist or graphic artist had drawn the cloud or certain shapes in the sky, and I could feel it was not real. So it looked man-made or created by someone else to me. So it did feel much like a matrix. It's like when Neo from the movie Matrix saw how the agents actually looked. They look like codes of a program, a computer program. He no longer saw them as agents, but they actually were inside a computer program of codes of ones and zeros. There are times when I see certain portals as sacred geometry, and these are also like program codes. But it's a code to activate your soul and remembrance of your own abilities. Every fear and every worry is an experience of our human life, and it is temporary. I decided not to say illusion because I'm tired of hearing it too. But that is what Spirit wants to say and says all the time. And they're right. But I do have to remind them that it's still challenging being human. So I'm back to another Matrix reference. In Matrix, when Neo was waiting for the Oracle, he interacted with a kid who was able to easily bend spoons with his mind, like telekinesis. Telekinesis is the ability to move objects. Although I would like to redefine this because I feel it is not entirely the mind, but rather a connection with the electromagnetic of the heart chakra that does this type of ability, psychic ability. For another discussion, I'm sure. A lot of my information is through clear cognizance, those another psychic abilities to receive information. So back to the Matrix. When the kid hands over the spoon to Neo, he says to Neo, "Do not try to bend the spoon. Instead, only try to realize the truth. There is no spoon. Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself." So this statement is very profound and very powerful, and highly vibrational way to reprogram yourself as well. As the new energy codes stream through the planet, we are waking up from a deep sleep, a sleep from the veils of forgetfulness. So just we have been because we have been programmed to remain asleep in the matrix of forgetfulness, we can deprogram ourselves. And deprogram is a way to clear and cut energy cords that no longer serve us. These high energy frequencies are meant for us to live our best version of ourselves. It may seem impossible now, but I say that all things are possible when we allow the universe within us to support us. The universal flow of energy that dwell within you ignite the flames of transmutation and unleash an even greater force that is felt throughout the universe. So let's talk about reprogramming yourself, especially when it comes to certain limiting and sabotaging patterns in relation to our abundance. And these are techniques I've been working a lot in myself because of the tremendous amount of programming from past lives, such as vows of poverty, vows of celibacy, and all the vows that keep us limited. We don't need these anymore. It's time to break the shackles of these vows. So I will share 3 sacred steps that requires constant practice, willingness, and determination to break these programs in ourselves. So basically, deprogramming and reprogramming yourself, Number one, let's start by setting a new intention or vow of what you wish to change in you that you feel that has been limiting. For example, is it a vow of poverty or the mindset that your funds are limited and don't have enough resources or anything or everything is expensive? You could say, as an example, by starting an intention that says, I choose to break every vow in relation to my abundance and finances. Or I choose to be financially free. Or I choose to live my life in abundance. To enhance this energy, keep setting these intentions during the new moon phase, where when the energy of manifestation is at its potency. And so I do a lot of these different techniques also during the new moon ceremonies that I've been conducting virtually, which I am about to do live in my area. And I'll be sharing more of that at some point through my social media. So, number two, reprogram yourself through sleep with uplifting and encouraging subliminal messages, which you can record yourself and play to yourself over and over again through your sleep as you sleep at night. Or you can find several on YouTube. And actually, I'm about to start loading some of my own subliminal messages on my YouTube channel. And I've been doing a lot of this every night to reprogram myself. And it really has been making a huge difference for me energetically, shifting a lot of things and just shifting that consciousness, and from whatever deep subconscious patterns that have been buried there with all these vows. And lastly, be consciously aware of your mindset. So if you find that you drift into a subconscious pattern of limitation, then refocus your original intentions. And I've noticed, it becomes so aware now when I start to slip into this other lack mindset, these vows, that I had, placed in me, and I acknowledge it first and, so kindly shifted without being so forceful about it, but just looking at it with love and observing it, but also then reshifting it back into the original intention and working more intensely with these subliminal messages. So all of this can be repeated as often as desire. And I just wrote a book with lots of practical guides and techniques for reprogramming yourself, which is launching very soon. It's right now in editing at the moment. So I will be announcing that when it does finally launch. So I will leave you with this message. May you always be well and happy reprogramming yourself. Bye for now.